Today we have a lot to talk about. I want to get into allegedly V breaking his silence on the whole media frenzy involving his dating rumor. I want to get into apparently Dispatch getting involved and that rumor, and then we have HYBE and a conversation about legal action. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey spilling milk merch, and let's go. There's been a lot of controversy with privacy and HYBE's action or lack of action among that sort of thing. Due to the recent dating rumors and even a lot of the recent sourcing attacks, it has left a lot of people wondering and asking where protection will be coming from and how to prevent it. I have some thoughts on this. Of course, action needs to be taken on those invading any personal or very intimate moments. I'm sure none of us ever want those moments to leak of BTS, and even ourselves, we can understand how terrible that would feel. But I don't know if action taken on one person is going to stop other people from invading personal space. These stalkers and people who leave death threats don't seem to care about going to jail. We've even seen in the past that when HYBE has successfully taken legal action on someone, how that person simply just pays the fine and then continues to go on with the kind of threats they were doing before. Some who can't pay for it, I would imagine, just call personal bankruptcy and just continue with their stalking and death threats after. Hence the fandom sometimes talks about people who have been blacklisted by BTS yet still manage to continue their thing. And even situations that could potentially involve prison wouldn't stop them after they get out. In fact, it would probably make it harder for them to get a job or anything that would occupy their time, and they would be back to threats online and stalking. It's not even a secret anymore that HYBE takes legal action, and there's even belief now that whatever your age is, HYBE will take action. So these people making the threats know the repercussions, yet we still see threats online and we still see stalking. In fact, stalking, as I'm sure you've all seen, has definitely gotten worse than it was a few years ago. So when the fandom says take legal action, it just feels like a very temporary solution to an issue that also can't really be traced to one villain. I think the issue here needs to be one that involves these people getting mental evaluation. Many of the people HYBE has allegedly taken action on should be forced to go through some sort of therapy before being allowed to use the internet again. These big labels need to opt for some sort of law that would do this. People who call a bomb threat to a concert or threaten the idol at the concert should not only be arrested for a year and then let out or pay a fine, they should be in a mental hospital. I don't think taking legal action is worth it. At the end of the day, the legal fees in which it costs a company to track someone down and bring to court will cost more than what the stalker or threat maker is even being charged with. The issues with reporters can be a little muddier here, and there's even a big rumor involving HYBE and Dispatch's relationship. If you are unaware, Dispatch is a big news company. I would actually consider them more of a Korean tabloid company. They have paparazzi all over and they spend their time stalking idols in order to release their big annual news. This is their dating rumor. They have been wrong before on who is dating who, apparently, but this doesn't stop them. Dispatch has reported Jennie dating before, and I think they reported Jennie and Kai dating, and then not too long ago it was reported Jennie and G-Dragon were dating. This is all in the span of a few years, so I don't even want to hear any slut-shaming comments here over Jennie, because Jennie dating two people in a span of like 5 years is not slutty behavior. When the Taeyang and Jennie rumors occurred, the biggest point that people kept trying to make was, why hasn't Dispatch reported Taeyang and Jennie dating? It's believed that HYBE and Dispatch have a relationship, so anything involving BTS, Dispatch is not allowed to report. However, there is no proof of this. This is literally just a rumor, and the reason the rumor exists is because Dispatch hasn't reported on BTS dating. So people think it's a secret that Dispatch and HYBE are hiding rather than the boys not dating. Because the idea of people not dating at all is so foreign, everyone must be dating. People were saying that HYBE needs to sue people who have been leaking the dating rumor, and they need to do something. First of all, we have no idea if they're doing anything. None. They could literally be doing the most to protect their artists, and we have no idea because you can't publicize legal action until it's done. Second of all, if Taeyang and Jennie were hiding this relationship and HYBE was trying to look into the dating and try to dig up evidence so they can fight what the reporters say, the fandom would also crucify HYBE for butting into Taeyang and Jennie's personal life. So what do you want them to do? There's been a lot of rumors about Taeyang and Jennie going on, and there's a lot of speculation. Recently, it was believed that both Taeyang and Jennie had been in Paris together, and in the last day or so, it was believed that both Taeyang and Jennie left Nice, a city in Paris, and went to the airport to fly. There was an alleged person on Twitter who had leaked videos of Taeyang walking into the airport, and then approximately 25 minutes later, Jennie walks in as well. However, the video that is shown is allegedly Jennie from the back, so we don't have any idea if it's her or not. Later, when Jennie landed in Bangkok for her tour, it was believed that Jennie changed her outfit. However, people were saying the person next to Jennie was wearing the exact same outfit in the video at Bangkok, and then in the video where we see the back of Jennie. So this apparently confirmed that Jennie did follow Taeyang to the airport, and they were 25 minutes apart. This, of course, led to rumors to believe that they were kissing at the airport parking lot and saying goodbye, and just decided to delay their appearance at the airport so as to not go in together. Or what was the situation? I can't answer that and have no idea. I can say this is all still just speculative. By the way, if you're interested, I plan on reacting to a bunch of Blackpink tour videos and shows on Patreon. If you're interested in going over there and checking that out, I will link that below with a $1 tier that is open. We always have a great time, so I hope to see you there. I don't believe this is stalker footage, as it seems like a lot of people knew about the appearance and reporters were all sharing it. It makes me believe that HYBE had let reporters know about the appearance and the trip. There was another rumor that circulated, and it was quite strange. If you aren't aware, a lot of news sites will go to the airport, and about an hour or many hours before the arrival of the idol they're trying to record, they will live stream it. This is how a lot of fans find out and start heading over to the airport. So when news sites say Taeyang airport fashion live stream, any ARMY that are maybe within a 10-mile radius and happen to not be doing anything that day will just hop in on a cab and go to the airport. This is how you have fans in photos holding the BTS merch, because they just came from home. But that note aside, what was the strange bit? Apparently during one of these streams, Dispatch had commented. They allegedly posted a comment that said, "What are your thoughts on V and Jennie's relationship?" and that they want to know as a survey. This, of course, unless you watch the entirety of the stream, you're probably going to think it's real, and interestingly enough, I can't verify because I don't know which stream this is. If this was real, it could have been posted on any of their idol airport streams, right? But it was believed that it was fake, and it's interesting to me because they don't clarify which stream it is, the people who posted the comment, because then you could verify if you knew which. A lot of people say it's fake and that the real Dispatch wouldn't misspell Jennie's name, and that's probably true. Of course, that screenshot was circulating and people really did believe that Dispatch confirmed the relationship, even though if Dispatch were to confirm, they would do a formal post. If they are not posting an article or an Instagram post like what they do with all dating rumors, then there's a reason why they're not talking about it, and thus they cannot talk about it in a comment. Also, there's plenty of people who have given their opinion on Taeyang and Jennie together. You don't really need more if you're going to write an article about it. There's plenty to pluck from. People believe that Taeyang actually did respond to all of this. Recently, people have been sort of dissecting his airport fashion and a shirt that he wore not too long ago that said "shut up." This is very interesting, as he obviously knows what "shut up" means, and it would be interesting to wear this type of shirt and this message to a place where it would solely just be the fandom that is there. Like, he probably wouldn't wear this to a meet and greet. So the idea here is that he is wearing this because this is the message he wants to tell the media. Recently, he also wore a shirt that had an interesting message as well. Taeyang was seen during his flight back from Paris wearing a Yogi Bear jacket. People took that jacket and dissected the meaning of Yogi Bear. This is probably what we all know as just a cartoon, but ARMYs dissected the cartoon and where it came from to say that it came from a basketball star named Yogi Berra, with a very famous quote that says, "Half the lies they tell about me aren't true." And this is probably a response to fame and what the media was probably saying about Yogi Berra at the time. I think this one is actually a bit of a stretch, if I'm going to be honest. The "shut up" one is actually very believable, and it could be a message to the media. I think this one about Yogi Bear is a bit far-fetched. I feel like you could do this with any famous cartoon. Taeyang could have worn a Family Guy shirt, and then someone could track it back to Seth MacFarlane, the creator, and a quote that he said about fame. Everyone who is famous has at one point talked about how people misunderstand them or lie about them. So that's just my opinion there. But do you believe he was breaking his silence on the rumor with his airport fashion? You tell me. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thank you, so it's a little bit comment right here. Love you, bye.